Yeah, so when I started this project, I thought I'd just do this one continuous timeline, but obviously jumping from topic to topic would be difficult. So I am doing it, finding out that, yeah, I will have to do some backtracking to kind of fill in some spots, things that got neglected just because I was on one topic and it runs the length of a time period, and all of a sudden, forgot about that. So what I'd like to go back to is, of course, all kids, they grow up, most of them will have a bicycle. And, when we moved out to the Mountain View Acres and we're out on Gravilla Road, I had a bicycle. It was just, regular old bike you'd buy in a department store. I don't know if it was new or whether we just picked it up somewhere. Um, and of course, the neighbor kids had bicycles, and we'd go out. And, we were one of the last houses out, to the, if you head like to the south, um, you would find no other houses. And it was just all this, some old dirt roads and stuff. And we'd just take our bikes out and just ride it out and everywhere and have a good time. Um, so had my neighbor, Mark Abernathy, and we'd get on our bikes, join up with Rick Williamson, and head on down to the Mojave River and catch pollywogs, kind of a catch and release thing, see how many pollywogs you could catch and turn them loose. Mojave River ran maybe 2 to 6 inches at the most, unless it was storming and really flooding, then it could kind of get up. And but that was Mojave River was as far as a convenient, maybe 5 or 6 mile ride on our bikes to get there. And there was all kinds of neat things to do there. Wading, swimming, if you didn't mind dragging your belly on the sand. Uh, it was very clear water. Uh, there was this one place. There was this cable strung across the river. And I mean, it's suspended like maybe 7,500 feet above the river, and it's near a railroad bridge. So we always presume that, well, maybe it has something to do with bridge where if there was really high water, which occasionally it would happen there, that they would still be they wouldn't you wouldn't have water obviously going over that railroad bridge because it was really high, but it was there for some reason. People to rescue people caught on the wrong side of the river, whatever, I don't know. But it was there and fully functional. It had a cart had like these two big pulley wheels that you know um, I think there was a rope so that if it was out in the middle of the cable, you could pull it in. And I don't know what would happen if someone just left it out there and didn't have it tied off. How do you get that thing back? And then it had this tool on the cable that could be removed. It was kind of this thing that would slot onto the cable. You turn it, and now you can use it to pull yourself along the cable. But so it starts off, on the west side of the river. We would get in the rig, release the rope, and boy, it would kind of take off because it had a good slope, and then the dip, and then you'd kind of slow down, never make it off to the other side. But then you're kind of out there in the middle of the river, and we, sometimes just take a sandwich out there, and two guys sitting on that thing and enjoying the view of the river and the wildlife and stuff. Um, and then we'd use that tool to pull ourselves back, uh, foot and a half by foot and a half. Um, so one time we're down there and we're having fun on it. I think it was me and Ricky, I don't know if Mark would have allowed us to pull the shenanigans we pulled on these kids. Um, the These two African American kids, of course, we just called them the black kids then, uh, showed up and they said, "Hey, hey, can we ride? Can we ride?" And so we pull it on back. We pull it on back. We show them this is how this works, and we're going to give you a good push. Get out there, and woo, they're just having a good time to get out there, and it settles there in the middle, and they're just loving it. And then I don't know what got into me and Rick, but we're just kind of can do some crazy things, and so we go and we grab a hold of the cable. And we'd never tried this before, but we start, we could just barely inch it and we're moving it back and forth. And, like 6 inches here meant 2 or 3 feet out there. Pretty soon they're just swinging back and forth and they're screaming and yelling, not in fun. They're not having fun anymore. And so we finally let it come to rest. They came back and they were okay, no hard feelings. And I probably would have enjoyed it if I was out there, getting swung about on the cable. Then we'd also go and the bridge that was there was a no, it actually that was an actual highway bridge. Uh, no, it was a railroad. That's right. So we would climb up on that, and here's a bridge. It's like at least 100 feet over the river, but it's one of these with big arch above and the flat part that the train would go across, and we'd climb up on the top of that and wait for the train to come by. And boy, that old bridge would just shake and rumble, and the train's roaring and blowing the horn, and we're yelling and screaming. And this is how you entertain yourself out on the desert when you're a preteen, I guess. Um, so the bicycles, yeah, they gave us range to do things like that. Another time we would mess with the train, we'd head up towards the Cajon Pass, and there's a train railroad that passes up there, probably the same train that passes down there eventually at the river. And there was this place where they had cut through not a mountain, but a small hill, but still it was taller than the train. And the walls were really close. And so we looked at it and we go, I think we could safely go in there and safely stand and let that train whiz by us really close. We kind of estimated, okay, the train probably sticks out this far from the track, and we'll be up against the wall, and we shouldn't get hit. Maybe not too bad. So we did that. We survived it. It was terrifying, and I don't know what was wrong with us, but then me and Ricky we worked for days trying to perfect this bike trick we wanted to do. Because we were popping wheelies on these old clunkers and stuff, and thought we were pretty cool. But I thought of the idea of how about while we are riding, we trade bicycles and see if we can do that without crashing. All grab a hold of your handle. You grab my no, maybe it's best the seat and then get a leg. And we piled up too many times that we finally gave up on that. Um, and then our creativeness here we're out in the middle of the desert, and we don't. Yeah, bicycles are great, and we had dirt clod wars and all kinds of stuff like that. We even went with our dirt clod wars. Uh, be me and the boys and Kenny Alexander and Mark and Rick. And we were building these tunnels. It was real easy to dig in the dirt out there in the desert. Not a lot of rock, it was just dirt. And we'd build these tunnels and lay boards over them. We'd hide little dirt clods. We'd make up after it rained, so you can make a really good solid hard ball. And then we'd have these knockout trench warfare dirt clod fights. all in good fun. Nobody got hurt too bad, but we were a mess afterwards. And Mama never enjoyed cleaning up her clothes afterwards with that. And of course, I think I mentioned all the wildlife that was there, catching horny toads and lizards and turtles. And in fact, uh, both us and the Alexanders became turtle people. That we had found turtles that had been injured, probably struck by a vehicle and had a damaged shell or something, and we'd kind of nurse them back to health. And then we kept them for a long time. In fact, we had turtles long enough that they produced young, and we had baby turtles. These are your big old, desert tortoise like this, and then little tiny turtles come out of the egg. It's pretty cool. Eventually, you had to have a license, to even capture and keep a turtle, because they were becoming endangered, as was the Joshua tree, as was a lot of stuff as the sprawl grew. So we also did motorcycles. The first motorcycles that my parents got, they weren't really dirt bikes. They were kind of just road bikes, and uh, little 80 cc, maybe 100 cc things. And all of us, so I think mom and pop, they each had their motorcycle, and we'd be able to go out and ride these motorcycles. Uh, really extended our range that we had, and they were fun. And eventually, they got some real honest to goodness uh, dirt bikes. Some little Kawasaki's that probably like one 25s or maybe even less. Might have been 75 cc's, but for us, we thought, man, now we're cooking. We never got into racing or anything. It was mostly family stuff. And although now Neil, we would occasionally go out with the motorcycles, and we would chase the jackrabbits, just around the greasewood trees and Joshua wood trees and all. And of course, those rabbits are fast and really switchy and hard. All of a sudden, you've lost them, and rabbit wins. Well, one day Neil comes home. He had gone off on his own to chase jackrabbits. He comes home, and he's got this jackrabbit draped over the gas tank in between his legs. It's alive. It's breathing. I said, "Is it sick?" He says, "No, it's just tired." he he kept after that thing until the thing finally just laid down and said, "Okay, have your way with me." So it was a catch and release. Once he recovered, we turned him loose in the front yard. He ran off into the desert again. Uh, it was just like you just had to invent your own entertainment out there. Uh, so one day, I guess they were stringing some power cables or telephone lines or something, and they left one of those big spools, wooden spools that the cables is wound on. They left it out there near our home. And so we're rolling around and going, man, we need to figure out something to do with this. And so we knocked a few of the slats out of it. In the middle, it just has like these 6-inch boards going all the way around to cover this spool and enforce it and all. Knocked a few slats out so a person could crawl in there, and you're all tucked up real tight in there, and we'd roll around and okay, I'm getting dizzy, blah blah blah. So Kenny Alexander, he's a year older, a grade old or more above me, is with Larry's grade. He's Larry's age. So he comes up and he says, "Wow, that's pretty cool. Let me have a ride." So first we took it over to whatever road it was. It kind of heads down towards his house downhill, and he gets in, and we get it going down this dirt road, and pretty soon it's gotten away from us. It is picking up steam, and he's going, whoa, 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 whoa. And oh my gosh, I didn't know how it was going to end, but it ended pretty spectacular. eventually it veers off to the side, and there's this dirt embankment there. And when that thing, one side hit it, then it was just like just flying all over the place. And I thought we had killed Kenny. They killed Kenny. That's South Park, isn't it? Wasn't that? So we were the first killers of Kenny, but no, he survived. It took him a while to get out of that thing and able to walk. He just had some minor bruises and scrapes and stuff. Uh, and then we had gone out to one of the dry lakes and we saw sailboats on dry lakes. Well, they were land sailors. It was like set up like a tricycle. You had one wheel up the front, uh, the two wheels in back, and I think you steered the front wheel with your legs, and you had the sail just like a sailboat. You let the sail out, pull it in tight, and these guys would scream. So we got to thinking. I think we what happened is we'd seen that, but we didn't have any idea how to put something like that together. Somewhere along the line, someone said, "Hey, we got this old parachute. You guys want it to play with? What are we going to do with the parachute?" Well, immediately we go, "Oh, we're going to build a land sailor." And at first thought was we disassembled our wagon, an old wagon that was there, and we had four wheels. We just totally out of wood, made axles and this little eyepiece that we'd sit on, put a seat on it. And, we didn't put a mast up or anything. We're just going to let this parachute blossom open and sail downwind. And so we waited for the day when the wind would be coming out of the south. And, well, when it came out of the south, it really came. Kind of the opposite of the Santa Ana's when it blows down into the valley. And I don't know, I can't remember whether I was on it or who was on it, but I mean, we opened that sail and whoever was on it was gone. And the rubber started flying off the wheels. And eventually it just, drug to a stop. The wheels coming off and all. So, yeah, we didn't pursue that much further. It'd be pretty complicated to develop a true land sailor like they had they were doing out there. But that would have been pretty fun. Um, okay, any other hijinks? This was pretty much to cover the hijinks. Yeah, we took the motorcycles to the Colorado River. Had I think the Johnsons and other people that had motorcycles, and we'd just ride around on our little 100cc, 125cc bikes around the desert, just have a good time. Yeah, that's about it. I think I've gone back in history, kind of caught up some of the hijinks there that us and the boys, me and the boys, all the families that lived around us. Good times. All right, well, that's it for the day. Bye-bye.